Hey, good morning. Can you believe it's Monday all over again? Today is January the 13th as we embark upon a new day. So glad that you've chose us to join us this morning as we get in this. We'll have your forecast in just a few moments. We'll go over a few headlines that are shaping America and speak a little bit about the horrible wildfires that are sweeping L.A. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. I believe 24 lives is what the death toll is now. That is just horrible. No excuse for it. I hope your morning is well. Have a cup of coffee. Get it all ready. Let's go to Collinsville now, to the First Baptist Church. Let's get our good message, and we'll come back with some messages. Right now, 45 as we begin your day.
You know, over the past few years, there's been so much talk about justice. You especially hear about quote unquote social justice. But the interesting thing is that what's being thrown around isn't justice at all. For instance, just a few weeks ago, a CEO of a major insurance company was assassinated. And how did people respond to that news? Well, tragically, so many actually rejoiced at his murder because they saw it as justice. They said that guy got what he deserved because he leads an insurance company and insurance companies are bad. Beloved, the world is confused about what justice is, and that anecdote is just one piece of evidence that we could point you to. But the world's confusion shouldn't surprise us. You see, the Bible told us long ago in Proverbs 28:5, evil men do not understand justice. They don't understand it. They pervert it. They call what's right wrong and what's wrong right. They discriminate based on the color of people's skin or how big their bank account is or who their family is. The scales of justice, you see, are supposed to be balanced and held by a blind judge, but evil men love to put their finger on the scale to tip it to one side or the other and peek under the blindfold to see who is there. Evil men do not understand justice. But the Bible here in Proverbs 28:5 goes on to say, those who seek the Lord understand justice completely. Now, how can that be? Well, that's because God defines what justice is, and He's given us that definition in His Word. Biblical justice, not social justice. Biblical justice requires that every person be treated according to the same standards and with the same respect, regardless of class, race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, or any other social category. The moment that any of that social stuff is brought into the equation, justice is perverted. So, beloved, we should care about justice and pursue justice, but may it be biblical justice, because biblical justice is actually justice. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Brother Ben, hope you can make it out for a service. They'll have one Wednesday and then again on Sunday. If you need a church, good place to go visit with them. Walmart, recalling this, and this is one of those things, I don't have a can number or anything like that, but chicken broth. How many of you bought some of that during the holidays? Walmart is saying get rid of it. The retailer is calling 48-ounce cartons of great value family-sized chicken broth. It was sold at 242 stores across the South. This includes, let me see here, Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Texas is where they were sold. If you got any left, they say don't eat them, and they'll give you a full refund on that. Again, I don't have a number that tells you what batch it was, but they say March is the expiration date on that. Is the world full of bah humbugs? Somebody really could have got hurt in this as we read you this next story as we go to Tennessee as a family, and I would assume it's a subdivision some sort, the way it's described. Family took their two kids to go sledding down a hill. The neighbor decided it was his land and started firing shots at them. And I'm not sure, it's not clear whether it was in the exact direction or in the air, but shots were fired and, well, he was caught on camera by another family doing this. He's been arrested. I mean, really? It's snow. It's fun. That's beyond a bah humbug. He'll have a little time to think it off as he heads to jail there in Tennessee. And we see a different world of people. Thieves is where I'm going with this. And again, I've often said many times that we've got to come up with something, a new way for you to get your packages at home, because it's left on your porch and there's porch pirates, but they're getting, is the word brazen? A little bit more each day as they waited on the FedEx guy to deliver a package. Neighbors' cameras had them sitting there waiting at at least 2 hours before the package was delivered. They jumped out, took the package from it, ran. He called the police, a car chase, and they eventually wrecked, and they were all arrested. This was Massachusetts. Now, it never said in the article what was in it that was so valuable. The porch pirates, I think that is the word for this, getting worse and worse as we watch this. And again, we got to come up with something, some way to keep your packages safe before you get home. Now you can't even let the FedEx guy make it to the porch. I'll just say this one and then we'll move on. It somewhat funny is in Houston, a well-known pimp had to go to the hospital for an emergency. He was arrested. He was on a wanted list. And I'll leave it at that and we'll move on to the next story. We have a man in New York City that's been arrested. Unprovoked is what they're calling this. A 14-year-old was stabbed. He's been arrested for this, and they have no clue as to why he done it. There was no connection in between the two. Days are getting bad, aren't they? Sam Moore, anybody remember him? He was a soul man, and he sang that song, Soul Man, has passed away at the age of 89. He had surgery complications. We pass along condolences to his family. There's a lot of us that don't agree with these things that are happening across America. As Minnesota, the school district there, has removed a LGBT children's book. Why? It had nudity in it. It's gone. It's out of there. Our right and wrongs on what children should see are very blurred these days, are they not? Need good leaders. Will TikTok come to an end? We don't know. There's lots of talk about it. There's so many of you who use it. There's a lot of small businesses now that use it. Let's face it. Whoever it is has already got your information if you've got a phone. I think that has been the old crutch on this. I think it amounts more to they can't control what's on there. My 2 cents for what it's worth. A professor who was wrongly accused of being a spy is suing the University of Kansas. He was accused of spying for China. He didn't do it, and he's suing. The countdown is on. Today is January the 13th. We're going to have an inauguration. Did I say that right? That sounded like a stump. Inauguration. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's a tough one for me. It's coming January 20th, and the countdown is on to this. Why? Trump has told them, you let our people go or hell is coming. It's kind of like that scene from Wyatt Earp. You remember when he got off the train? He said, tell him I'm coming and hell is coming with me. He says, release him before he takes office or it's coming. Biden is doing his best with Netanyahu and the other fellow there to work things out. Believe me, B, I do believe he's telling the truth when he says he's coming. If I were the bad guy, I think I would pay close attention to what he said.
I'd be packing bags.
It is time to pack, move locations. This man doesn't play. He will come to visit. Jim Nance, I've never heard of him. You know why? I just don't keep up with people's names that do this for a living. He's the guy that does the NFL games. He calls them. Pretty record-breaking thing. He's going to do his 500th game this coming weekend. That's a big deal for him. Although I don't know him, and y'all know I don't watch it, number one, but congratulations to him. That's a big thing. The 76ers basketball. Yeah, I'm not a big basketball fan, but they're going to save the taxpayers a lot of money in Philadelphia. They were looking at building a new stadium to cost a little over $1 billion. That's been scrapped. Yay for the taxpayer. Maybe okay for you. Uh-oh. Kamala Harris's house was reportedly getting broke into during the fires. 2 men have been arrested. Shame, shame. Just how long does the Secret Service stay there when the fire is approaching is one question.
That's a good question.
Folks, it's horrible out there. 24 lives lost. We're going to get more into this in just a little bit of how many lives were lost and something that I don't know. And maybe somebody knows the research on this before we get to this. But I read it, and I don't know whether it's true. What's that old saying? Believe half of what you see and nothing that you read? North Carolina, I'm pretty sure this figure was right, where the government was given $750 for those who lost everything. Now, the rumor is, and again, this is rumor, I don't know if it's true, are they actually giving $25,000 to those in Hollywood, that area there of L.A. that lost their homes? That wouldn't seem fair. We've got a lot of people in North Carolina, and I'm not kidding you when I say they're living in tents in the snow, almost as if the government has failed them. Even had a thing where they didn't want the Amish delivering houses to them, those little portable houses, because they weren't approved. Come on, America. Let's take care of our own before we give another billion to another country. I'd rather my tax dollars help someone here than some way off place. Pope Francis, he's handing them out like candy. Why not give another? Biden has given another, the high civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He did this one over the phone, and this one has a different name to it. It's called With Distinction. He gives it to the Pope for his outgoing help to others. Never heard of one being given away over the phone, but I guess if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. This is, I often talk to those who fly drones, who have them. There are areas that you can't fly them. As the wildfires break loose, there's a lot of people trying to get video footage of it. One accidentally hit a Canadian firefighting plane in the side, 6-inch hole, as they were trying to put out fires. Everything had to be grounded until they got to the bottom of it. They still don't know whose it is. They're still looking for folks to turn them in. Also in L.A., they do have a curfew now. You can't be out. Believe it or not, there's people that, get this, thieves will go to no end, dressed as firemen, stealing from those who are less fortunate, who are down on their luck. Oh, that gets down to that snake's belly level, doesn't it? It does. Hang on. We'll be right back with that forecast. Again, 45 right now as you're waking up. We're going to get into the complete forecast. That's next here at the Scotty Ray Report. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back for those record highs, record lows, anybody remember 72? I was all but 3. It was 80 degrees today. Back in 62, it was a record low of 3 degrees. Boy, that just gets cold, doesn't it? As we look at the forecast for today, 53 to maybe 54 is the best we're going to do somewhere along. We may even tap 56 at some point in some areas. We'll see as we look northward. 49 to 50 there around Columbus, around Starkville. As we get back to Natchez, we should see areas of about 50. As we go east, 55 in Demopolis, kind of mimicking what we'll have in Meridian, that 55-ish, 56 maybe. As we see that, Birmingham should fall at around 52 rather. As we see this, now this is what's approaching basically for next week. This is going to change left and right as we have colder weather coming, and it will particularly be the 20th and 21st that will affect us the most. Nighttime lows predicted to be in the 20s as we move there. We're going to look at that in just a second. Now, here's our 7-day outlook as we begin today, 55 to 56. Tonight's low down to 25, 20% chance of showers, and that's early, ending by 7 o'clock this morning. As we get into tomorrow, we'll hit 50, 0% chance of rain, but cold at night, 28, 29 on Wednesday, 0% chance of rain until Friday. As we start to see this, temperatures warm up to 62, 63 over the weekend, nighttime lows. Look at Friday night there, 50 for a low. What a drastic change. 36 for a low on Saturday night. We'll hit 63 on Saturday. Back to 50 on Sunday. Now, here's where we start to maybe see something, and let me be honest about this. There's one map that shows we're going to get snow and another that says we don't. No one knows. Do not believe all of this where people are trying to make you panic over something that is not there yet. There is logistically a 20 to 24% chance of rain, maybe on the 20th. Don't overreact because this is going to change. We're 7 days out. And as we saw last time, nothing happened. Do not jump the gun, so to speak, on this. Let's wait this out. This is going to change several times. Should it become something, we'll let you know. One map is drastically showing that we're going to get snow all the way from here to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Would it be great? It sure would. I want to see it as much as you do. But let's not bank on something that is not real just yet. Now, again, there's a lot of people trying to get you gussied up and go buy bread, I guess is the word for it. Is that the word for it, Odie? Yeah. Bread and milk. Y'all just hang on. When it becomes a reality, we'll start pushing that, warning you as it approaches. I don't want you to get overexcited over something that isn't happening. Let's wait and see. We can't forecast this stuff in the South. As much as we try, it just doesn't happen. As we go back to look at this, and again, Tuesday, 37, 22, as you'll notice they're not getting very warm there on Tuesday, down to 22. Those 2 days are our biggest chance that we'd get it. For the remainder of the week, we're looking at still cold weather, 27, 28. And we're going to see some of that this week also. As we get to Friday, things start to warm up, 48, 50, 56, as we start to climb out of that frigid temperature. That's what we've got there. Let's look at what's happening with the fishing today. North wind's 5 to 10 today. Your best time to fish is going to be right there at high noon until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. You get a minor time this afternoon around 4 o'clock. Sunrise hits here in just a few minutes at 6:56. Sunset's going to happen somewhere around 5:11. But again, the wind's not too bad, 5 to 10. It could be a whole lot worse. Now, if you're heading off to go deer hunting, you've got till the 31st to make your dreams come true. Today, rated as best. Again, the wind's going to be 5 to 10. Major time today is 11 o'clock until 1 o'clock. Get there by 10:30, be set up. You may even want to be there by 10:15. Be ready till about 1 o'clock is your best. And we got a minor time this afternoon at 4:30 until dark. Again, sunrise 6:56. That sunset falls at 5:11 if you're going to be in the shoot house. Each day we're getting to be a minute longer, just roughly a minute longer of daylight. Won't y'all be glad when we get rid of this time change thing? I sure will. I'd like it to be one and stick to it. Now let's go back and look at radar of what we're offering this morning of what's going on here. As we pull up radar, here we go. A few showers left to the south of us. Most of this rolled through the Meridian area in the early morning hours. 2:30, 3 o'clock made its way on towards Selma, Montgomery, and those areas. We still have a few showers down here to the south of us as we look right there. It's going to be around Leakesville, Mississippi, a few showers on Highway 57. 45 has a few if you're going into Central Nell there in Alabama. Chatham getting a few showers as well. Picayune has just a wee bit as well. Not much other than that picking up on radar in the state of Mississippi around Montgomery, Columbus, and you get into Douglasville and all these areas, into Charleston, South Carolina, a lot more rain. And as we get into the Florida, there, a little bit down in that area around Panama City this morning also. If you're visiting there, maybe you're watching from there. That's a sum up of what we've got. High of 55, 56 for the most part across the state of Mississippi and Alabama today. In the northern part of the state, we'll be hovering 49, 50-ish. Somewhere around in there. Nashville, Stevie, how in the world are you doing this morning? Robin, good to see you. Glad you're a part of this. Chet is up as well. Friday, you're right, you can get your flip-flops out. This is Mississippi. It just changes so drastically when it comes to all this weather. We'd love to have your birthday. If you hadn't gotten that to us, you can inbox us or put it in the comments here. Odie's working hard over there getting his list and checking it twice as we near the top of the hour there for the morning show to get ready. We've got to make a cup of coffee, a pot of coffee. Let's reword that. This could be a long one. We may have to break out some. We've got a lot of information to give you. Did y'all know there was a robbery in Philadelphia over the weekend? We're going to tell you about that and someone who got hurt in Meridian. We'll tell you all about that coming up at the top of the hour. Won't you join us? It gets off at 7 o'clock. It begins. Join us for the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.